I have spent the last 15 years of my life trying to examine, review, and come to a conclusion on the matter I'm going to be speaking to you about, which is fear. I have observed from time to time some kittens and to see how, when I approach them, how they run away from me. And I was trying to understand that. And I asked myself the question. I've been observing animals and observing humans to try to come to some definitive position or perspective on fear. And I'm saying, can we avoid being fearful? Because I honestly believe that fear is one of the most destructive element of creativity, thought, human growth, and development. So, in trying to mitigate against fear or reduce its hold or leverage on the individual, I've been trying to sort of examine what are the parameters in which an individual can operate and how can we operate without fear? Or is it possible for us not to be fearful? Now, if you think for a second, and particularly Jamaicans, a number of us believe in ghosts, demons, spirits, and we fear these things. We fear the unknown. But not only that, there is no individual in my mind's eye that has no fear. What we can do is to suppress that element or aspect or dominance of fear in our lives. But we cannot absolutely say that we have no fear because it is natural and even animals display fear. But how do they know that they should fear something? Is there something innately inside of us that fear bigger or perceive bigger to be stronger? Or is there something in us that say when something is loud, be cautious? Or if you hear about things, then you should fear it, like we fear snake, lizard, wasp, bee, etc. But what is it that is inside of us that guides this thinking? When you think on this for a second, what is in it that is inside of each animal, human and the lower animals, that would cause us to fear things? And because of that fear, we are handicapped from making decisions or make decisions and are handicapped because the fear that reduces our ability not to see other things. Is it possible that we can arrest fear, minimize fear, and therefore get us into a stage where we can be critical and look at things objectively? Or is fear embedded inside our psyche? In other words, is fear natural and not nurtured by information that we learn from people? I want you to look at this video and I want you to tell me as to whether you are supporting my argument that fear seems to be natural. Let me go again. That fear seems to be natural. And as long as you're an animal, you are instinctively born or made or bred by fear. And there's nothing you can do to avoid fear. It is this fear that cripples your ability to think, to do things, and not only to do things, to act objectively and rationally. I want you to look at this and tell me if you think that fear is natural or instinctive, and there's nothing that humans or animals can do to rid themselves of fear. Here we go. How do animals know that they ought to move, run, get out of the way? Even though we have always argued that the lion is the king of the jungle, why would a king fare? If you are the king, I'm presuming it means you're the ruler. It means that you're not dominant as a king. You're not able to give directives as a king. As a king, you're not feared because of the leverage to which you have. I'm concerned. The animals know to be fearful. They were not taught by no one to be fearful. As humans, the higher animals, we are socialized, taught, indoctrination, culturalized. We can use various synonyms. We can use various concepts, various constructions to explain how it is that we come to fear. And a number of persons sometimes lean towards believing that fear is all learned. If fear is all learned, it means that we can rid ourselves of fear. But is that the case? Look at the animal again, the lion, the king of the jungle, fear the elephant. How do they learn to fear? What have they seen? What taught them to fear the elephant? Why is the elephant not fearful of them? Fear. Fear is one of the most crippling phenomenon that there is. It is fear that robs the human of his or her ability to advance, to make right and productive decisions, as well as to understand how to move from one point to the next. When an individual is fearful or fears a phenomenon or an idea or a concept or an object, it reduces the person's ability to think critically if they had not feared the issue. By fearing the phenomenon, what it does is to shut your brain from critically moving beyond that fear, or critically going beyond the fear, or critically examining the issue, or critically moving through the issue, or critically allowing the issue to materialize, or to go through, or to operate, or whatever. Fear stops all of that. An individual cannot fear any phenomena and love it. And that is one of the times I've always argued and will continue to argue that no one should fear God. If you fear God, you cannot love God because fear cripples the ability. Fear cripples positive emotions. Fear cannot linger or work harmoniously with love. Fear. Is it innate? Is it taught? Why do we fear? Is it death that's the issue that caused humans to fear? And how do animals know that they should fear? How? Think of it. Think if we had not feared anything, where we would be or where we could have been. Fear tramples our ability to take on risk. It is this fear that mars options and our willingness to make decisions to move beyond the fear. What do you have to say? Share this video. Like, share, and comment. as my channel is about providing you with what? Information for you to use to make decision. My topic is fair. Is it natural? Is it innate? Is it learned? Is it cultured? And why do we fear?